Hello again, it's Trudy from HotPatterns here with another fabulous little YouTube clip for you, all about one of our lovely tops. And before we start, I should really say to you that yes, we've had loads of emails from people saying, could you please do ones about pants or skirts or dresses, and I promise you we're working on them. But for the moment, I wanted to do one last top clip just to show you how nice these tops are. And I wanted to do that really for quite selfish reasons, because this is the time of year when I like to get myself all ready with all my nice new things for the spring and summer season. And one of the things I always do is make a big stack of plain coloured t-shirts, particularly white t-shirts, because you know they don't last more than a season, especially with two small children around. They get grungy and you just need to throw them away and make some more. So I have 3 different t-shirt patterns that I use all the time for all sorts of different things, and they're really my go-to patterns. One is the plain and simple fitted tee, which we'll be doing another time. One is the Weekender Cabana t-shirt, which we already showed you. And the other one is this one, this garment here, which is the Weekender Sunshine tops. Now, this one we have had on our site, I think for a good 2.5 years. And I keep making it and keep making it because it is fantastic. And I know when I do my newsletters, I'm often recommending make this one up. And if you haven't already, I'm going to explain to you why it's such a great thing and why you really should be using this pattern on a regular basis. So let me just back up a minute and explain something to you, which is for every design company, they always put out a style that eventually ends up suiting everybody. There's no real rhyme or reason to it, but every designer sooner or later has a style that just suits everyone. Unfortunately, this is not a retrospective thing. You can't just sit there and go, oh well, we'll do this and do this and do this and it'll suit everyone. But once in a while it pops up, a style pops up that suits everyone, and this is one of those styles. And you'll see versions of this from every designer, everyone from Marc Jacobs, Prada, Michael Kors, through Anthropology, right down to the less expensive lines, Banana Republic, Gap, everybody. And you see that because it suits everybody and therefore it sells a lot and everyone likes to wear them. So I'm going to go through the details of this, why it looks so good and why it works on different shapes and different sizes. And then of course, as always, I'm going to show you some really nice variations. So the basic shape is a really simple one. You've got this nice scoop neck here. It's not too wide and it's not too low. It's really suitable for wearing kind of anywhere. You're not going to be too cleavagey. And you've got these fabulous gathers through the front. Now this is kind of key for this style. What these gathers do, for some reason, is they make a really generous bust look trim. They make a small bust look perky, and everyone else just look fabulous. So for this area here, you've got all these good things going on. And the other thing to point out about it is that it's got a nice shape at the side. You'll find with a lot of t-shirts, especially ready to wear, that they can be quite blocky, they can be quite boxy, and you end up having to either take them in or just accept that they're going to be really boxy. But the nice thing about this one is it's got a really beautiful body shape to it. So although it's not grippy like a tight t-shirt, you've got this nice fullness through here which frankly hides a multitude of sins. You've also got a really elegant side shaping. Now if you see, I don't know if you can see the pattern illustration here, we've got 3 different versions here, but of course you can do a whole lot more than that. We've got a sleeveless version, a short sleeve like this, and this is a very short sleeve. We've got a slightly longer sleeve, kind of mid-arm here. Now the short sleeve version, you'll notice if you look at the pattern, we actually cut the hem of the sleeve like this, like a curve. And that's because for a slim, short sleeve like that, that's one of the most flattering things you can do. It just elongates the arm, makes it look trim, makes it look neat, and you've also got a bit of underarm coverage, which, you know, frankly, once you're over 25 is kind of key. The other things you can do with this, of course, you can play with the length. You can make it, this is the standard t-shirt length. And as all t-shirts, you can just treat it like a normal one. Wear it out, wear it tucked in and bloused over, wear it with a belt. It's really your choice. This is down to what you like to wear. The other lengths you can do is a shorter one with a band at the bottom, or you can elongate it into a tunic. And actually I'm wearing a version of it as well. I've done a completely different armhole, which I'll go through with you later, but I've elongated it into a dress. So you've got all these fabulous options. Now the reason it's such a nice t-shirt is, you can see it works really well in white, and that's the key for a good t-shirt. If you need to have things on it to make it look groovy, it's not so good. This one just works, and it's so nice because you can wear it, as I said, in all the ways you can wear a normal t-shirt, but it's a little bit more interesting, it's a little bit more feminine. So instead of having a normal t-shirt which either really skin tight or kind of loose and not so flattering, you've got this great feminine look. And now I'm going to show you a few variations on them, and you'll see just how different this style looks when you either change the fabric or you do a little bit of fiddly embellishment. So this is another variation of the Sunshine tops, and it's exactly the same in shape and length and everything as the white one I just showed you. But you can see that, well, quite clearly it's in this rather groovy print, but you can see just how different it looks when you do it in a print as opposed to a really simple solid. Now I'm showing you this one because frankly this one is one of mine from last year, and it's about to go in the rag bag. I have worn it into the ground, and I worn it into the ground because it's incredibly comfortable. It's also a slightly more drapey fabric. You can see it's got a little bit more fluidity than the classic cotton jersey that I showed you a moment ago, and so this is really useful for you to know that you can use a slightly softer t-shirting, but don't go too thick and chunky. The other thing to point out with you is that you can use for this neckband or for just the neckband facing a non-knit, so you can use a lightweight woven. And I've done this before. Yet another one I'm afraid I've worn into the ground and I won't show you because it's a disgrace, is a black and white striped knit, and I used a black linen for the neckband, and that's fine because this neckband doesn't actually have to move, it doesn't have to give or stretch, it just needs to sit there and look really nice. So obviously you're going to use some interfacing with this, and I should just mention when I'm talking about interfacing, you can get good fabric inexpensively. That's not actually hard to do. You just shop around, you buy good fabric, and for t-shirting, as long as it's a good t-shirting and it's going to wear for a season, you're good with it. What you can't do is get good interfacing cheaply. You need to spend on it, and you need to get good quality stuff. And so we always get one from Sewing Supply from Pam Ernie, and her stuff is fantastic, and I'm not affiliated with her company in any way, I must point out, but I always use her stuff because although it's pricey, it is fabulous. It's really, really good. So don't skimp on your interfacing because that's the only part you're going to use interfacing on. And if you've got one that buckles or just bubbles and looks horrible, it's going to look so cheap and horrible. So really spend on the interfacing, save on the fabric for a style like this. So you can see that this one works really well in a print, and you can make it as kind of layering as you want or as kind of calm as you want. It's really up to you. But you can see just how different it looks from the white one. Completely different, even though all we've done is use it in a print fabric. Now the next ones I'm going to show you are quite different variations, and you'll see again how this is a very, very useful pattern. You're going to get a lot of mileage out of it, and one of the reasons that we like to give you these variations and show you exactly what you can do and give you this extra mileage out of it is this: we know that our patterns are not cheap patterns. They're not. But I do believe with patterns, as with everything else, you get what you pay for. So you may as well, if you bought one of our patterns, you may as well get as much use out of it as possible. Work it into the ground. That's what it's for. That's why they're on that really tough paper, so you can use them again and again and again. So now I'm going to show you some other variations.